like a little disco Sunday gathering today. Welcome everyone to our Sunday gathering. We're so grateful that you are here. I've read in the chat box, we've got some folks here for the very first time. We've got some returning Sunday gatherers, and I know we have friends watching the replay. So wherever you are in that, we welcome you. Today, I'm joined by wonderful mediums, Cachette Burton and Carly Douglas. And I didn't know until just before the music played that the way they found out about the Sunday gathering or mediumship and became mediums themselves was watching the Sunday gathering years ago. And then they entered our medium school, which is mymediumship.com, with the wonderful tutors of Carrie McLeod and Phil Dykes. And now these wonderful ladies are providing readings and evidence and making a difference. And this was all done through Zoom because in the afterlife, we can be anywhere. You don't have to be in person. You can be on the phone. You can be on Zoom. It's really interesting how spirit works. Anyways, I'm Sandra, if we haven't met yet. And I'm so grateful that you are here. Each time we are together, we do our very best to inspire, to empower. There's always a theme, or usually a theme going on, but we also want to make sure everyone knows the reality of the afterlife, that our loved ones are still alive. They still have their personalities. We will see them again. Your life matters. We can receive signs from them, thoughts, feelings. I've dedicated the last, let me count, 13 years maybe to my podcasts with now over 760 episodes between We Don't Die Radio and Shades of the Afterlife on iHeartRadio. Friends, I'm going to give you everything that I've got to let you know that your life matters and they're still around. Now, I know that what joins many of us is grief. We have a loved one who has passed, and our hearts go out to everyone right now. That is probably the main reason people join our Sunday gathering. There's nothing worse than the pain of grief. And unfortunately, the only way through it, or to the other side of it, shall I say, is right through it. I don't think grief ever ends, but I do think having an understanding of the afterlife, being in communication with your loved ones, it really makes a difference. So we are here for you each and every Sunday. So let me tell you about today. Our theme being that it just turned autumn here in the Northern Hemisphere is the autumn equinox and metamorphosis. So we'll unfold that in some various ways. Cachette today will be doing our opening prayer, and Carly will be doing our closing prayer. The two ladies will be sharing in the medium demonstration and in our address today. And for me, I will be delivering the reading, leading you into healing, giving some words for the week and announcements, and doing all the music and all those in-between things. So whatever it is that brought you to our Sunday gathering today, we welcome you, and we are so glad you're here. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Cachette for our opening prayer.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Sandra. To those of you around the world that are gathering with us today, I ask that you would join us in prayer with the God of your understanding. Divine Creator, gracious Spirit, we ask that today, as we join together in unity and love, a higher love, we bring our loved ones forward and we bring kindness to each other. Life is not always easy, but we know that you have us every step of the way. We don't always know how our next step unfolds, but we know that we also have each other to lean on. And so we want to thank you with our open hearts and open minds for whatever it is that we are here to receive today and moving forward on this path. Thank you for your love. Thank you for our friendships. Thank you for our family. And thank you for the blessings that we've received and that we are about to receive. Amen.
Thank you so much. All right, the reading. We're here today to talk about metamorphosis, but sometimes the thing that needs to transform is our relationship with time itself. We look in the mirror and the person looking back is older than we feel. We see photos from 5 or 10 years ago and ache for how small our children were or how healthy our parents looked. We feel the season changing, whether it's autumn that's just arrived or spring arriving for our friends in New Zealand and Australia. And it feels like a clock is ticking, reminding us that life is relentlessly moving forward. How do we find peace when it feels like we're losing a race against time? So, my parable this week is called The Woman Who Paused Time. There once was a woman named Claire who felt this deeply. It was a Friday afternoon, and she sat at her desk, surrounded by the quiet hum of her life. She scrolled through her phone, and a memory popped up, a picture of her family from years ago. Her heart sank. In the photo, everyone was so full of unbridled summer sunshine, health, and happiness. Now, looking out her window, the autumn light seemed tired, and in the reflection on her dark computer screen, she saw the tired lines around her own eyes. A wave of profound sadness washed over her for the time that was gone, for the winter ahead, for the quiet where the singing spring birds and summer flowers used to be. The feeling was heavy, threatening to pull her under. But then a quiet thought, a memory from a book she once read, surfaced. You cannot stop the river of time, but you can choose how you navigate it. She decided right then not to drown in the sadness, but to swim. She started small. Her desk was a mess, a perfect reflection of her overwhelmed mind. She took 2 minutes and did a tiny task. She stacked a pile of papers and threw away some old notes. Creating a small patch of order on her desk made her feel a little bit of control. The silence in the house felt heavy, so she asked her speaker to play some joyful music. An old upbeat song from her high school days filled the room, and she felt her shoulders relax for the first time all day. The rhythm was infectious, and she found herself tapping her foot. This led to the next step. She stood up and decided to move her body. She stretched her arms high above her head, rolled her neck, and even did a little silly dance for a moment. The movement broke the spell of stillness, releasing a trickle of feel good endorphins within her. Feeling a bit lighter, she walked to her back door, stepped outside into the cool air for a moment of nature. She closed her eyes and took 3 slow, deep breaths, feeling the crisp air fill her lungs and letting it go, imagining she was releasing the sadness with it. Her phone buzzed with a text from a friend. Normally, she might have ignored it, but this time she chose to connect. She called her friend to say hello, and that small act of reaching out made her feel much less alone. Back inside, she glanced again at the family photo on her phone, but this time she didn't see loss. She saw a beautiful moment. She allowed herself to feel gratitude for the joy captured in that frame, and a real, genuine smile spread across her face. She caught her reflection in the dark screen again. The face was the same, the lines were still there, but the person looking back was different. The sadness was gone, replaced by a soft, warm light. She hadn't turned back the clock. She had stepped out of the river of time and into the present moment. She had remembered that joy is not a destination, but a series of small, conscious choices. Now, what does this all mean? Well, my dear friends, we are all Claire. We all have moments when a reflection, a memory, or the changing season makes our hearts ache for the past. But this is the secret of metamorphosis. It's not about becoming a new person. It's about using small, sacred tools to come back to the person you already are beneath any sadness. Each of those simple things Claire did, tidying, listening to music, stretching, breathing, connecting, smiling, is an act of profound self love. These are the keys to pausing the relentless clock of the mind and finding the timeless peace of the soul. Each one of those small, loving actions is a beat of a wing, helping our own beautiful butterfly emerge from its cocoon. Now, speaking of butterflies, we're going to go into our healing song now. And the song is Zach Brown Band, along with Miss Dolly Parton singing Butterfly. As the song plays, it's a wonderful time to send our healing thoughts to the world and those in need. If we've never sat for healing before, there's really nothing special you have to do. Just that loving intent in your own mind to be of service. And I fully believe that those in the unseen world use our energy, our gratitude, our thoughts, and direct it for healing in the world. And certainly, anytime we offer healing, some is returned to us. After this song, the next voice you'll hear will be Cachette, followed by Carly for our address. So let me find the song for you.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for this opportunity to be on this platform and with you, Carly, and with everyone here around the world. Super emotional today. I just feel so much love in the air and our loved ones drawing near to us. And with the changing of the season, there is a changing of ourselves. And I wanted to start with a poem today called Autumn Leaves by James. I can't say the last name properly, but I'm going to try. McKierney, Nuri. I'm not sure. I'll spell it later if you guys want it. I'm but an autumn leaf upon the ground, a remnant of all summers past. The ember sun above me shines to warm me on my bed of grass. My golden skin, now paper thin, moves in rhythm with the wind. And though I have no place to call my home, I still belong to where the seasons roam, be it summer, winter, spring, or fall. Regardless of the time of day, oh, how I dance amongst a sea of souls, unafraid of change that comes my way. And though the years may differ each time around, I'll forever be an autumn leaf upon the ground. So here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are stepping into a change of seasons with our autumn equinox. And as that leaf will always be a leaf, you will always be you. But sometimes there exists a realm, a place known as the in-between, where you stand suspended between who you once were and who you're becoming. It's a space where your former self no longer fits, but your newer self has not yet unfolded. The journey can feel uncertain, even frustrating, as if neither here nor there exists. This in-between space, though uncomfortable, is where true transformation occurs. Embrace it. Just as summer surrenders to autumn and leaves change their colors, now different and no less beautiful. We should try to surrender to the present moment, being in the now, knowing that we don't need to rush forward or cling to the past. You can't walk towards what's in front of you and have your head turned behind you. Sometimes we want to rush to the end, the finish line. Just like a movie, we want to know how everything turns out. The funny thing is, there's never a finish line. Just as the seasons change and every autumn shows up a little different, the process of the metamorphosis of self changes as well. How many times have you started over? A new job, relationship, home project, painting, replanting the garden, or parenting style? If you haven't reflected on it yet, I bet each time there was a new something, you approached it with new eyes, a new feeling, a seasonal inner shift occurred at some point. Embrace who you are in your metamorphosis. However difficult or magical the seasons are, try to resist the temptation to force the results. The answers in the path will reveal themselves as they always have. Trust that this phase, like all things, is with purpose. As you reflect, you'll see this space not as a time of stagnation, but as a sacred threshold where lessons were learned, rest occurred, growth took place, grief shifted, beauty and self unfolded, and you were quietly but powerfully reshaping. In those moments, the metamorphosis orchestrated as it was always meant to be. I hope whatever season you're in currently, that you can show yourself kindness, love, and grace, finding the joy and magic in all phases of life. And now I pass it to Carly.
Thank you very much, Kashette. Thank you. And when we were coming up with the idea for the theme for today's Sunday gathering, we batted around a few ideas, and when Kashette came up with Metamorphosis, I feel like that was the one that landed for me. And the image that immediately popped into my mind was something I saw one day when I was doing the old doom scrolling on Facebook. And I came across a little post or a picture. I can't remember exactly what it said, so I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit. And it spoke about when a caterpillar builds its chrysalis. And when it does that, its body actually liquefies so it can reshape and it can emerge as a butterfly. And the little message just after that said, so if you're feeling like a mess wrapped in a blanket right now, just know that that's your chrysalis stage. And that has stayed with me so much whenever I felt like I'm just having one of those wrapped in a blanket on the sofa kind of days. So that one has always stayed with me. And it's an image I remind myself of when I'm having one of those times as well. I'm going to change subject a little bit and I'm going to come back to that as well, though, because something else that I thought of when the caterpillar goes into this chrysalis stage, although it's building itself a cocoon, it's actually putting itself into a really vulnerable position because the caterpillar doesn't know what's on the other side. Nobody's told the caterpillar, hey, this is what's going to happen. You're going to build yourself a little cocoon and you're going to boom, butterfly. That's that's not what happens. Nobody even tells the caterpillar when it's time to go into that cocoon. There's just a deep inbuilt knowing. It knows that it's time. And so that's what it does. But the vulnerability when we're in that phase, in that stage that Kashette mentioned, where we're reshaping, we're taking our new form, it's a pretty scary place to be. Nobody likes to be vulnerable. And the thing that makes me think of that at the moment, I have a 7-year-old son, and he back in January, he's always loved music, and back in January we started getting him piano lessons. He was very excited about this. And at first, it all seemed to come very naturally to him. It was very easy. It was all the same sort of three notes, those little nursery rhymes, you know, the ones. And now that he's been at it a while, it's starting to get a little bit trickier. There's new things like sharps and flats. There's moving the hands up and down the piano. He's making a few more mistakes now when he starts learning a new piece because it's just that little bit more challenging. And we're seeing him at the moment a lot of frustration, a little bit of upset when things don't sound exactly as he wants first time. And I've had to explain to him that this is what happens if we want to get better at something, if we want to truly master something and understand it, we have to go through that sticky, not so good phase. Things seem really easy at first, and I'm sure there's plenty of us who have started learning piano and we can play Kumbaya and Mary Had a Little Lamb to our heart's content. But anything more complex than that just requires that challenge. It requires us to make mistakes, to stumble, to probably sound a little bit clunky and ugh for a little while. So to try and help my son through that, I never had piano lessons, but I can read music and I can find the keys just about on the piano. So I let him hear me play it a little bit, and I made lots of mistakes, and it wasn't very pretty. I turned to him and I said, I was like, the reason mommy's not any better at that is because I don't sit down and work at it. And I was like, and you sit every day at this piano and you practice. I don't make him. He sits down and he practices. And I said, that's where it's going to start to get better. It's going to start to get easier. You're going to look at this song that you're struggling with right now. And when you come to play that a few months down the line, it's going to be easy because you went through the struggle to get better. And it's a thought, isn't it? Having to go through the struggle to get better. None of us want to do that. We've had to do it through our mediumship. We have to do it, whether it's piano, whether it's dance, whether it's learning to fix a car or ride a bike. We all have to go through that little phase where it doesn't quite come as naturally as we'd like. We have to be a little bit more vulnerable. We have to kind of struggle with it a little bit more. And it's a hard place to be, but also there's a little bit of magic in that. Because as I mentioned before, when that butterfly goes into that chrysalis, he doesn't know what it's going to look like on the other side, and neither do we. When we're in that vulnerable space, we don't know if it's going to pick up speed, if it's going to, what we're going to look like when we come out of the other side of that struggle. And unlike the butterfly, we, as humans on this planet, navigating our little journey, we often have to go back a stage. We often find ourselves going back to our little chrysalis, don't we? We can set up a business and feel like we're flying, and then we hit a little roadblock, maybe a loss, maybe things just aren't working out as we want. And suddenly we find that we have to go back and we have to revisit that vulnerable place to allow that growth to happen again. Because as Cachette said, the finish line, there isn't really a finish line per se. There's a finish line, and then there's another one, and then there's another one. And we can keep going back. We keep going through those struggles. And I always remind myself as well when I'm going through all these tough times, we get one shot at this life that we're having right now. I know there's lots of beliefs about reincarnation, and I'm certainly not here to argue that. But this moment that we're having now, this life that you're in right now, that I'm in, we're going to get one shot at this life. And maybe we don't know what it's going to look like 5 years from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. But isn't it exciting? The chrysalis. We don't know what it's going to look like when we come out on the other side. So there's things that we hope it's going to look like. We just don't know. And there does have to be a vulnerability and a trust when we're navigating this life. And I know that we can trust that Spirit's there guiding us and that we have our friends by our sides to help us through those little chrysalis stages. Thank you very much for allowing me to share that with you today. Thank you to Cachette, and I'm going to pass back to Sandra now.
Oh, thank you so much, Carly, and thank you, Cachette. People wonder how it is that I keep coming to this Sunday gathering week after week. I get just as much out of it. And if you were moved by Carly and Cachette's words just now, press your raise hand button. Send them some love. The talk about being vulnerable, trusting, all that. It's a scary world we walk through. And when you talk about the metamorphosis, friends, there is a time where there's going to be a metamorphosis for us from this physical body to the spirit world. And just like that butterfly, you're going to be like, hey, I'm still me. Wow. And our loved ones are still around, and it'll be a beautiful thing. But this that we're going through right now really is for a purpose. And I don't believe our soul gets what it gets on the other side as we get it here on earth. So there's so much to learn and experience and grow, and having that trust, that vulnerability. Oh my gosh. So I'm every bit as much of a Sunday gatherer here for myself and my empowerment as we are giving it to you, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, we're going to move on to our demonstration of mediumship. And this is just a time that some loved ones from the spirit world can come forth on behalf of all of our loved ones, letting us know that they're alive, they're healthy, they're well. And so it's meant for joy. Now, I'm no fool. I know everyone joining us today has got that little prayer, oh, let it be my loved one, that comes through. I don't know how they pick them. I really don't. But what I do know is that each one of us can pull the readings towards ourselves, feeling just how close our loved ones are. And also, those messages that come through, you might just feel like, hey, boy, I could have used a little, I can use that for myself today, just like the words with what Cachette and Carly both spoke. I could use them. So I want you to treat the folks that come through from the spirit world today, just like you're treating Cachette, Carly, and myself. We're what's called panelists here on Zoom. So we'll get some panelists from the other side that are speaking on behalf of all of our loved ones. So that being said, on our Sunday gathering, this is how we do our medium demonstration. This is audience participation for sure. So we always hear a piece of feel-good music before it starts, and it's just an opportunity to use that creative center of yourself, build up some energy and love, and imagine your loved ones with you. As mediums, Cachette and Carly will request for those who wish to work through them today to present themselves. And those friends in the spirit world, they pretty much use anything available. So Carly and Cachette, it's not uncommon that they'll feel the presence of the loved ones. They might be able to describe perhaps what they look like, or some shared memories, or maybe what they did for a living. Sometimes it's how they passed. We each retain our own personality when we pass. So, it's a good question for you to look at after the Sunday gathering was, if you're all of a sudden in the spirit world, what would you give to the medium to let your loved one know that it's you? So we want everybody to be on the edge of your seat when one of our mediums describes the person coming through. Now, I say loved one. It's not always a family member. Well, it could be. Could be somebody you worked with, could be somebody a little distant. Sometimes it's people from our past, and you think, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about you in 40 years, and they come through. We have no idea how it works, but be on the edge of your seat. If you can understand all the information that the medium used to describe this person, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, I know I just asked you to press your raise hand button, but if you want to press it again, just to play with it, I know we've got several new friends with us today. And the reason I ask this, you can see when you press it, it goes from raise hand to lower hand, raise hand to lower hand. Sometimes there's two or more people that can take all the information, the description that the medium gave, in which case they'll continue to work and give some more bits of information. And if all of a sudden you feel like, oh, that doesn't make sense to me anymore, then just lower your hand. Sometimes it gets a little tricky using technology, but to get to the person the fastest is the best way we know how to do it. So if you are that person and your hand is still raised, you're that last hand standing, so to speak, I send a little alert to your device, and it'll show an unmute button for the first time, and it'll say host would like you to unmute. So we don't need to see you. Don't worry, your camera remains off, but we do love to hear your voice. But we only need one of three answers from you when I say your voice. This goes for our Sunday gathering or any time you work with a medium. Let them do the work. All we need from you is a yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they give you. Now, please don't feel bad for the medium if something doesn't fit. Carly and Cachette are both trained by our friends Carrie and Phil in my mediumship classes. And no simply means new opportunity. Okay. So just be honest. So just a yes, no, or I don't know. That's it. Why this is important is because we're trying to raise the level of mediumship in the world. Mediumship is one field where you don't need to be licensed to do it. Some people don't even take a class and they call themselves a medium. However, if we hold the bar high and we could just allow yes, no, or I don't know, then the medium has to do the work. You're not volunteering information about your loved one. So I'll get off my high horse. Speaking of that, and we'll get on to our demonstration. So like I said, we're going to hear a piece of music. It is the song September. And as we have a couple days left in September, the girls picked the songs for today. And I love this one. But just if you want, just imagine your loved ones with you. They do not only show up for the Sunday gathering, they are part of your life. They can multitask from the other side and be with you anytime. So here's our song, and then we'll be back with Cachette for our demonstration. Anyone else dancing under the table? Hi, Cachette. Thanks for a beautiful dress.
You're very welcome. Thank you, everyone, for having me here today. I am so excited once again to be joined with these beautiful ladies and with all of you. I hope that you enjoyed that song, and I hope that you sent loving thoughts to your loved ones. As Sandra said, all I need from you is a yes, no, I don't know, and please try to take all the information. Now, as I blend with spirit, I do feel like I have a lady here. And I do feel like this lady is grandmother. And I do feel like grandmother enjoyed to dance as well. And I also know that with grandmother, she didn't need music to dance. She had her own inner music within her. She would hum, she would sing inside. And I feel like you would look at her and go, Granny, what are you doing? There's no music on. But Granny felt like life was a dance and you didn't need a special occasion to do so. So I have grandmother here. I know that you would see her dancing at any time, and there didn't need to be music on.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, who can understand this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button for us, please.
Okay, nobody yet?
Nobody yet.
No problem. And I know that with Granny, um, I know that Granny loved get-togethers. I know that Granny loved hosting, and I know that family was important. So any opportunity she had, she would try to join the family because she knew that she was the glue to the family. Because I also am being made aware that once Granny passed away, the family did not take the time to get together as much as they used to.
Thank you very much. Who can understand this? Now, Cachette, I can understand this, but I sent a little loving thought that it's for one of our community members. Stacy has her hand raised. So let's go over to Stacy, but I just wanted to be honest about that.
Okay, no
Hi,
problem.
Stacy.
I would understand it, but not as a grandmother.
Okay. Um, I'm going to work with the two of you because I do feel like this is grandmother. So this could be could you take this for like a grandmother?
Not for me, no. This would have been my mother, but she was a grandmother, so that's the only reason I raised my hand.
Okay, well just stay on and I'm going to work with the two of you. Is everyone okay if I work with Sandra a little bit as well?
Of
We're just going to
course.
pretend everyone raised their hands.
We
I like
have
to
Amelia.
forget readings.
Oh, no, it's all right. We have Amelia also with her hand raised. Let's go over to her to see what she can take. Hi, Amelia.
So, hi. I can take all of it except she didn't go by grandma, but she was my grandmother.
You mean she didn't go by Granny?
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. So, I have here a grandmother, but I do feel like she wasn't called grandmother or grandma. I do feel like she would have had another name that the grandchildren would address her as. And I know that she would dance no matter what time of day it was. Typically in her home, she tried not to embarrass you out in public. And I know that there did not need to be any kind of music on. I also know that family was everything. She tried her best. If she could have it her way, she would have had family over every weekend. But knowing that the families had their own lives, she accommodated. But at least once a month, I do feel like she would try to have the family together. And she was the glue. Okay, can someone turn their
Amelia, I think you have your TV on behind you or something.
No, I'm actually in Walmart,
Oh,
unfortunately. I had
you're
to
in
step in,
Walmart.
but I'll mute.
Not a problem. No, that's okay. Can you understand that information, Amelia?
The dancing around the house, she did do, but not frequently, but she was a big, big dancer. Big.
Okay, well, I do feel like she would dance around the house, and I do feel like, as a grandchild, one would have looked at her like, "What are you doing, Grandma? Like, there's no music on. How can you dance with no music?" And to her, life was a party. She didn't need a reason to dance. So if this doesn't sound like you, I'm going to work with the other ladies. Thank you. Um, it's so funny because I do know that she cooked, but it wasn't her strength. Her food, she's making me aware that people ate her food, but cooking was not her strength, but she did it because it was part of bringing everyone together. Can either of you ladies take this? Stacy, I still have you, and Sandra, I still have you.
Yeah, I can take everything you've been saying, and she did have a different name besides grandma.
Okay, and Sandra?
I can take it. I
Okay, wonderful.
feel like you're
It's
going towards Stacy, but I'm just
No,
getting it
don't give
open.
up,
All
Sandy.
right. All right. All right.
Okay. And it's interesting because I actually feel like she I know that she liked to I know that grandma was very lighthearted. I know that you very rarely saw her sad or upset. I also know that going back to cooking, she would take shortcuts. She would not be the one to use the fresh green beans or use the all the fresh herbs. I do feel like she would do shortcuts such as the canned green beans and the dried herbs. Can
I
both of
can
you?
take that. Stacy?
Yes, same.
Okay, same. Okay, well, maybe this is for both of you. So, which can happen. So, just both stay with me. So, I also feel like I feel that she would, be a lady of, it's so interesting. I feel like she was a lady of simple things in life. She didn't have to have the fanciest plates. She didn't have to have the fanciest crystal. She didn't have to have the high-priced items. Going back to serving dinners, if we had paper plates and we had plastic silverware, then that was fine as long as we were together. So can you both take that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. So I'm just gonna say to the two of you because I'm running out of time.
Yep.
I feel that Grandma is just reminding you that things don't always have to be perfect, that life is a party, and you don't have to have a special occasion to enjoy the ways of life. And that going back to part of our address today, to find the magic in all that you go through, to find the magic in the transitions of all that you do, because you do know that life wasn't always easy for her. Although she didn't talk about it all the time, you would have heard stories, and she would have shared a thing or two about her struggles, which came as a surprise to you because she was always jovial. So, just as a reminder to try to, all you got to do is do your best no matter what. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't be so hard on yourself. That is the message that she's giving you today. Don't be so hard on yourself. Pat yourself on the back. And life is a cabaret. And that's so that must mean something to you. Life is a cabaret, which reminds me of Barbara Streisand, I believe. So I leave her love with both of you ladies. And I thank your grandmother for letting us all have that reminder of life is a cabaret and for us to dance and find the magic in it no matter what.
Thank you so much. That was so needed right now. But thank you.
I'm so glad.
Thank you. I agree.
So as I blend with spirit, I know that I have a gentleman here, and, and this gentleman was not much of a dancer. We're going to go on theme of dancing today. Not much of a dancer, although in his mind he thought he could boogie a little. Um, and so if he ever, let me see, 1 second, please. And I do feel like this is father. So you would know that father was not a good dancer, although, okay, two left feet. He would even say himself that he had two left feet, and everyone else would as well. But I gotta say, he didn't care because on occasion he would get up and he would, shift a little. And I want to say that at your wedding, so he would have been at your wedding. It was typically not like him to dance, but I do believe that you guys had a father-daughter dance that you did together with two
Okay.
left feet.
Thank you very much. Who understands this gentleman? Press your raise hand button, please. Bonnie has her hand raised. Bonnie, if you can press that unmute button, please.
All
Hi,
right.
Bonnie.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Hi, Bonnie. So can you take Father in Spirit, who had two left feet, who wasn't much of a dancer, but he would have danced with you at your wedding?
Um, yes, he did dance with me at my wedding. Um, yes, he enjoyed dancing actually,
Okay.
but he,
So
oh,
not to say
sorry.
he didn't enjoy it. Hold on. Not to say he didn't enjoy it, but he wasn't much of a great dancer.
Okay, yes, that's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
because I also feel like the family would have acknowledged and he would have acknowledged himself that he had two left feet.
Um,
So
I don't,
he wasn't the best coordinated when it came to dancing.
I guess so. Yes, okay.
Okay. Okay, because I also feel going with your wedding that um there would have been a little bit of practice for the father-daughter dance, but not much.
Yes, correct.
And I
Yes.
also feel like he would have been concerned about stepping on your toes or your dress.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
okay, thank
I
you.
mean,
Because okay, so I do feel like I'm with you because I also know with dad that it was he would have told you while you were dancing that this was one of the most special moments in life that he had with you and how proud of you he was. You understand this?
yes.
Okay. And I also feel like he would have made a joke about your husband to your in your ear while you guys were dancing together.
I don't know.
You probably don't remember. Okay, but I do know that your father is very fond of your husband.
Uh, it, it, it kind of. I guess he
Okay.
took
Well,
took a while.
I
Oh,
do feel at the time that he gave you your hand in marriage to him and he was sharing that moment with you in dancing that
yes.
okay, thank you. Okay. Um Okay, so with your father, I do know that you guys had a good relationship, and I do know that there was a line of open communication with one another.
Uh, to be honest, not so much. Maybe more as time went on, but
Okay, don't no no hold on. So I'm back in that time when you were in your younger years. I do feel like there was a time that your father tried to let you know that he was there for you and had an open line of communication for you.
um, somewhat.
Okay, can I open this just in case? Can anybody else take this information?
And Bonnie, you just stay right there. Just want to always make sure we get to the right person. Is there anyone else that understands all this information? Press your raise hand button.
So I'm going to repeat some information. I know that dad had two left feet. I know that he had a daughter dance with you at your wedding. I know that he would have whispered a joke in your ear about your husband, but it was a loving joke. It wasn't making fun of him. It was just something that was banter. And I know that he would have said to you how proud he was of you. And I know this would have been a special moment of time. Okay, because I also know that you didn't always see eye to eye. But I know that although you didn't always see eye to eye, he tried to keep that door of open communication.
Mm.
Does that make sense, Bonnie?
Yes, yes, I think yes.
Okay, so I'm still with you, Bonnie. Okay, and no one else has raised their hand. Okay, I just wanted to make sure just in case. Okay, so I know that you guys didn't always see eye to eye, but I do know that okay. I do know that I have to say, your father is giving me the impression that no matter what your choices were in life, he tried to support you the best he could.
Yes.
Okay.
hmm
And I do know at times there would be heated discussions.
Yes.
Okay. And I do know that as you got older, your dad is giving me the impression that there were some towards the end of his life and as you got older, there were some things shared that should have been shared a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and so your dad is bringing to my awareness that he's grateful to you for opening up that door of communication because there was a lack of awareness on his part in which it was never his intention to hurt you, and it was never his intention to make you feel less than or to make you feel like he wasn't listening. You understand
Mm.
this?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So he's coming with a thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for standing up to me. Thank you so much for finding your voice. Thank you so much for finding your inner strength and allowing me to see you as I should have always seen you. And thank you for loving me as I was, because I love you as you are now. And also an apology for not doing better by you in those instances because he was a stubborn man. Um,
mhm.
and sometimes he just couldn't see, what is it? There's a saying like, spite your nose past your face. He couldn't see the things past his nose, past his face. He was so stubborn.
Yes.
Okay. So very much thank you from your dad, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Bonnie. And with that last message being said, continue being strong, continue to find the inner strength that you found with me in those days. Okay, that's a reminder to you. So thank you so much, and I leave his love with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kashette. And now we're going to move over to Carly.
All the way across the ocean to the UK. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, and thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to see Kashette work. We got to meet in person in Blackpool, so it's a little strange and a little sad seeing her now in a little box on a screen. We were hugging a lot in Blackpool, so but it's always a delight to see her work, and I can still feel her love and her energy through the screen. So it's all good. And as before, please do try and stick to those yes, no's, and I don't knows, everybody, because it's so nice to be able to hear the story from our loved ones in the spirit world. I now have a gentleman here with me, and now I feel he's somebody's husband or partner. Now I also feel as though his name is John. I also, Lord help me, I want to say that John liked to sleep with no pajamas on. He liked to sleep in the. And I know, as I do feel as though as well, he did have a motorbike at one time. That was a very. I need to talk about the motorbike as well. So can I put that out to the audience, please, Sandra?
Thank you very much. Who understands this gentleman? Raise your hand. Well, we have both Brenda
I
and
have two,
Greta with their
and
hands raised.
both of these are going to understand this as husband or partner. And I do feel as though his name was John, and the motorbike
And a motorbike.
and
And Kate.
And he was
Okay.
in and he was in the nudie. Okay. Let me work with him then. Okay. So with your husband though, I do feel as though there is a little bit of I know he's got a great sense of humor, and I know as well where your husband would have I am just going to refer to him as husband, actually. I do feel it is husband. I feel so he's got that sense of humor, but I do feel as though he was caught in the nudie at one time. There was a little bit of an emergency and he maybe had to run outside with not the most of the clothes on in the night.
All
So
right. Thank you. A couple hands have gone down.
thanks.
Now, again, we have three people with their hands raised. Please keep your hand raised if you can accept all the information. And okay,
All of that
so
information. Can we
Greta
bring
and Kate.
two then? Is that
Oh,
okay?
of course we
Thank
can. We can hear their
you.
voice. Greta, hello.
Hello?
Hi,
Hello.
Greta. So this would be your husband.
Yes.
Yes, and you'd understand where he had a motorbike as well.
Yeah.
And I also feel as though he did like to sleep in the nudie,
Yes.
as we say in the UK. Kate, can you understand all of that as well?
No, I thought it was my son, but it isn't.
No, all right, okay. I'm sorry about that, Kate. Sorry, I'm going to work with Greta though. Thank you very much. Thank you, though, for raising your hand, Kate. Greta, I could work with you. I
Thank
know
you.
where your husband has this fantastic sense of humor, though, as well.
Yes.
I know as well. He's not shy about showing his body. He's not shy
No.
about the
Not to everybody.
not to everybody, but I feel
No.
like in you, I feel
Yes.
like I'm just totally at ease. I just can't stop laughing at him as well, though, because I know he has got such a good sense of humor. But I do feel, though, as a joke, somebody must have bought him pajamas as a gift for Christmas because they knew he there was an incident where he was in the nudie and having to. That makes sense.
Um, not sure about that.
Not sure about that. I do
No.
feel though there is an incident there of where he had to there was a bit of an emergency in the night and he's had to get up and be running around in his nothing.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
little bit of a
Yeah.
there's a bit of a panic of, oh dear, hang on, maybe maybe
Yes.
this one night it would have been good. But I know as well he's taking me to the motorbike again. I know for him the motorbike was a real source of he could just get on it and he would just go out and have some freedom when he was with his motorbike.
Yes.
Okay. I actually feel though as well he did have a few friends that he would go on motorbike trips with.
No, no, not the
No,
motorbike.
okay. I do still feel there's like these little excursions like I he rides the bike just for the joy of it. It's the sense of fun that I have on it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I
Yes, he
feel as though
enjoyed
as
it.
well, if it's not that he's got a group of friends, Greta, would you have gone with him on his motorbike?
No. No, I never
No.
did.
Hmm. It's just funny because I do feel let me just try that in a different way. He did have your son, sorry, your husband is a very loyal gentleman.
Yes.
And I do feel like he would have had a group of friends who really stuck with him through thick and thin. It's like a small
Yes.
group of friends that
Yes.
I'm really, really, really close with.
Yeah.
And there's like going out for a drink with them and just being able to, it's like a small group of people that your husband brings close to
Yes.
him. But it's people who he can completely just let his guard down and just be himself
Yes. True.
with.
Yeah.
And I feel that that was the sort of relationship you and him had, Greta. I know very
Yes.
strongly he could just let everything be with you. There was no
Yes,
judgment, there was
absolutely.
no walls, no barriers. It was
No.
just all laid to bear. And he's laughing as I say that as well. But something I just want to say as well, if I get the feeling from him that it's an illness that took him to spirit world.
No.
No. Oh, okay. Let me just work with this a bit. Okay. Greta, I got the feeling that you were with him when he passed.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I want to say it was your support in those moments, those last few moments. Greta, the feeling he's giving me is that you were incredibly brave and strong in that moment before he passed.
Yes.
There's like I had to dig deep and and you really put on a brave. I feel there's
Yes, I
tears,
know
but
what you
I feel
mean.
like you're putting on that brave face for him.
Hmm.
Like and he has so much love for you and so much
Oh,
respect
love.
for you and the
Thank you.
incredibly brave woman that you are.
Thank
Um,
you.
while you were together and since his passing as well, I know he sees where you still stay very brave and very strong every day
Uh-huh.
after as well.
Yes.
He's very, 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 very proud of you.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
and I know as well where his friends are still I still want to talk about his friends. I feel like you're still in touch with one or two of his friends.
Yes, one in particular.
Okay. Because I was
Yeah.
going to say, I feel like I want to talk about there was recently a bit of an exchange of funny stories about him with one of his friends.
Was, yes.
There's
Yeah.
been like a little bit of and that's what he loves is that everybody remembers him for the fun-loving person he was,
Oh, definitely, yeah.
for the just the fun and the energy he brought. He's
Yes.
an absolute joy to work with. Greta, thank you so much for allowing me to work with your husband. And he's
Thank you.
still, yeah, he's there's still no pajamas. I have to leave that with you.
No. Okay.
He just wanted to hear you laugh again then, I think. That's what that was.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, Greta.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. Bless you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Oh dear, we get all the characters, and that's what I love about mediumship. We get to see the gift of clairvoyance in all its glory.
And apparently so much
Oh,
more.
You've got to have a laugh. You've got to have a laugh and you've got to enjoy it and you've got to have fun. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. I feel like I might have more than one communicator, so we're just gonna go with this a little bit. I, I feel like I've got a gentleman here who passes to the spirit world of I actually want to say it's COVID. It feels like he passed a couple of years ago. I feel great breathing difficulties with him. If it wasn't COVID, I want to hold on to COVID, but I feel like there's complications. There's a lot of issues with my chest here with this gentleman, very, very short of breath. But I also have as well, alongside this gentleman, it feels like a young boy who passes to spirit as well. And he is only very young. I'm not going to put him any older than about 6 or 7 years old. I feel he is little. Okay. I'm just gonna put that out there just now. I feel like the gentleman's a little bit of a private gentleman who brings in this little boy. I'm not sure on relationships yet, though. I do feel
Thank
like the
you.
little boy, actually, no, sorry, I do feel the little boy is son. Sorry. I'm
Little
gonna put in
boy's
little
son.
son. The little boy is son. I'm not sure of the relationship of this other gentleman to our recipient, but I know. So
Okay.
young
Who?
boy is son to our recipient. He's very young, under 6 years old, and I know the gentleman passes of. I do feel it's COVID. I feel it's chest and it's complications as well with his chest.
Thank you. Who understands this information? Please press your raise hand button, or you think you might. Press your raise hand button.
Ooh, we're back to the drawing board. Let me have
No
a little
one
look
yet.
again. That is absolutely fine. Now I know this young boy is going nowhere. I'm happy to drop the relationship with him as son, but I do know that you would definitely know at least of him. You would know his mum. You would know that she speaks about him, and you've seen pictures of him. But it is the gentleman that I need to concentrate on. If it's not COVID, it's a lot of chest complications, and it's like I get an infection, and then I get a bit better, and then there's another something that knocks me off of my stride a little bit. Sorry. And I do feel as though I want to be over the other side. I want to be still in America. Actually, I do feel like I want to be over the other side of the Atlantic.
That's it. Who understands this
Can't
gentleman?
think that.
Tracy.
Mhm. Okay. Hi,
Tracy, if you
Tracy.
press your unmute button. Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Hello, Tracy. So if I can just check with you what you can take. You can take the young boy under the age of 6.
Nope. Just the gentleman. So
Just the
sorry.
gentleman. Right, okay. Let me work with him just for a minute. I know somebody else has just put up their hand. Let me just stay there, Tracy. Don't go anywhere.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Can I just check? Can you understand the young boy under the age of 6, a very young boy in spirit world?
Yes.
And you can also understand this gentleman. I may well have been wrong with COVID, but it feels like there's a lot of breath complications with this gentleman.
Yes.
Okay. Tracy, let me work with Anthony if that's okay. Thank you very much, though, for raising your hand, Tracy. I appreciate that. Anthony, would this be your dad, this gentleman?
No, a friend.
No.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's all right. No, let me just work with him a little bit. But you do understand why he could be a very private gentleman. He's not always the most forthcoming with information to new people.
Yes.
He can just be a little bit, because I just feel that little bit of reservation with him. He's not really, really very sure. But I
Yeah.
do feel like there's a lot of complications. It's going back to the hospital, it's going back to the doctors, getting medication changed.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I feel as though, and now I feel a lot of frustration with this gentleman as well around this time. So I do feel like you were around him a lot. You saw him go through this journey.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know with him, I know there was a lot of venting. feels like I've got that frustration, and sometimes he just had to vent a little bit to people.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. But I know as well, though, I know the previous one loved this, but he was somebody who, back before all these chest issues, he loved his freedom. He loved just being able to get out and having a little bit of an adventure as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And I want to talk about in particular, it feels as though I feel like I want to put him on a boat as a bit of a memory there with you.
Um, oh,
Not on a boat. It does feel like there's a trip, and it feels like you and him would have maybe gone somewhere as even as part of a group. I feel like we had like a little bit of a
yes, I get the group. Yeah. But
okay, because I
yeah,
was gonna say I'm having, but it's really funny because he feels so reserved with me, but with his friends, he's letting his hair down a bit and he's having a little bit of a joke. He's got a very dry sense of humor, though, I do
very,
want to
yes,
say.
very dry. Yeah.
It's a very, because I'm not sure if he's joking or not, is the kind of feeling I'm getting with him. I do need to talk about this young boy that's in the spirit world. Now, I
Yeah.
felt it was son. Can I check that? But that wasn't your son.
No, 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 no
Right.
connection to him either.
No, it's okay. It's not necessarily, but he is this young boy that you know about. You must know his mom.
I did know his mum. Yeah.
You know his mom. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why he comes in, but he's a very I know you've seen pictures of him. You've seen photos of this little boy.
Yeah, I'm dying to tell you about it, but I know you don't want me to, but
No, I
yeah.
don't. Well, thank you. If you want to share with an email with Sandra after, she can forward it on to me because it's nice for me as still developing
Yeah.
medium. It's lovely for me to learn about it as well. But I know I keep wanting to look at these photos, and I know he has the biggest, cheekiest smile with like I can really see like the apples of his cheeks when he smiles in
Yeah.
these photos. It's a really great
Yeah.
smile he has as well. Um, I'm going back to this gentleman again. Like I say, I don't know why they've come in together. It happens sometimes. But I know this other gentleman, he's still bringing me back to these chests. Let me just stay with this for a second. Anthony, you were with him on one of the times that he went into hospital. Like you were with him and and then he had to go into hospital while you were with him.
Yes.
Okay. Um, because I know there's a great deal of gratitude from him to you for being the person who kind of I don't want to say you took control of the situation, but you were very
Yeah.
calm about it and made sure, like, we need to put your health first.
That's
Um,
it. Mhm.
and I think he was the sort of person who he did need reminders that he needed to put his health first.
Yeah,
He didn't.
he neglected his health. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he needed those reminders, and I feel, Anthony, that you were one of those people who were kind of a little gentle nudge at times as well because I know as well where you did have to be a little bit patient with him
Yeah,
in
definitely.
many respects. And I want to say that about his health, but I do feel like I want to say that about oh, I feel like it's lots of aspects of his life because he's given me the impression he wasn't the easiest person to work with at times as well. He's got very strong opinions and very strong,
Very, yes.
yeah, it's kind of his way or the highway at times with him.
Completely.
But I need to bring in all this gratitude and this support, but I also want to bring it back to all those fun times as well. I do feel like he's trying to give you that little bit of wanting to have fun right now and just needing that little bit of upliftment and being able to, I don't know, just let go a little bit. It's like it feels like he's trying to lift a little bit of pressure off your shoulders. So he's seeing that you're under a lot of pressure at the moment. I don't know if that
Ye-
makes sense.
yes, not necessarily, yeah, not necessarily pressure, but direction maybe, just maybe
Okay.
taking it too seriously.
I know he's got his eye on you. I know
Yeah.
and he's saying it in a really lovely, in a really fun way, but I know he just wants you to try and just relax and just enjoy those fun times because I know the memories he gave of me, the picture that I had of the boat or the sea and us having the trip together, a group of us, and just having a few beers and just being able to take a load off.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
sometimes that sense of direction, it comes when we're not looking for it as well.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm going to leave his gratitude and his love with you. And I'm going to leave this lovely little boy as well with you. Like I said, I do feel like you've been a big support. I feel like you were a big support to his mum after she passed, even if it was just listening and she talked about him.
Yeah, he talked a lot about her. Um, there was a lot going on in his life, and yeah, we did listen to him. We did support him about it.
Right. Okay. Then yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because I was going to
Yeah,
say, I know that there's a lot of it's just a gratitude for all that support that you've shown.
bless him,
And
and
know that they're supporting you as well now. They're returning the favor now and staying around you, okay?
thank you so much. That was really special. I'll send a message to Sandra
That
about
would
it.
be brilliant. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much, Anthony, and thank you for allowing me to work
Thank you very
with your
much.
friends and loved ones. Thank you. Thanks. I've gone blurry again. Sorry. My camera
That's
doesn't
all
like me when I
right.
take my glasses off.
We like you. Thank you so much, Carly, and thank you, Kashette. Ladies and gentlemen, you're on the skinny branches when you're working as a medium. You have to do your best to decipher what's the spirit world, what's your imagination. They use their thoughts, their feelings, their clairvoyance, sense of vision, sometimes taste and smell, as we've noticed. So, ladies, thank you so much. And again, if you want to press your raise hand button just to thank them, both Carly and Cachette have come out of our School of Mediumship with Carrie and Phil. You can find out more about that at mymediumship.com. They started their journey right here on the Sunday Gathering when they saw something possible. I want to invite everyone to join one of our medium classes, and you don't ever have to be a medium, but you get to realize how our loved ones communicate, how the soul perceives information through our feelings. It's not always pictures. We want to think it's these great pictures. It's our feelings. It is where it all begins. Now, Carrie and Phil are traveling the month of October. If you're available and you can join them live in New Jersey or Florida, we welcome you too. But longtime students and mediums, Tim and Shirley Ann, will be running the psychic medium class the month of October. It's 5 2-hour classes that begin the same time we began the Sunday gathering. You can join live or you can watch the replay, connect with fellow students. And the thing is, you have to be willing to be wrong in order to be right, but just feel how it works. So that is available to you. The replays are included. And Tim and Shirley Ann will make sure you have a grand adventure. And who do you work with? Well, you work with other students, but it's your loved ones working on the other side. So, ladies, Carly and Cachette, thank you so much for your dedication. And speaking about mediumship, anybody who's been part of our community for the past couple of years, 2 years ago, we had started a fundraiser creating a documentary film about evidential mediumship. I am pleased to say that you're going to see it soon. We know it's going to be airing on the big screen down in Deltona, Florida on the 5th of October. I've got to talk to our filmmaker, Robert Lyon, as to when we're going to do the grand debut online. I'm sure it's going to be probably the end of the month of October, but we will keep you posted. So if anybody's interested in evidential mediumship, how it works, what it does, what to look for, connection with loved ones, it's a beautiful thing. So that is coming. Okay, what else is coming up? We've got a big week in store. Of course, Thursday, you can meet Tim and Shirley Ann with our new class. Also on Friday, our friend Scott Milligan, who is a physical and trance medium, he'll be back with me. We do what's called In the Arms of Eternity. It's an hour and a half where we first start for sending healing to the world, followed by a demonstration of trance mediumship. Someone else from the 1800s speaks through Scott, and we have the most extraordinary question and answer sessions. You can ask your questions, and this fellow that comes, his name is Eric, never disappoints with answers and a great conversation about life, death, and the afterlife. You can come for free. You can leave a donation. It's up to you, but please join us. Also, we all have our own guides and inspirers and loved ones that work with us. On Mondays, starting a week from tomorrow, Scott and I will be together delivering a class called Trance and the Altered States. Just an opportunity to learn how to quiet that busy mind and gently blend with that love from either loved ones or our inspirers in the afterlife, the unseen world. Now, next week, I will be joined on the Sunday Gathering by Tim Southwell and Barbara Felder. So be sure to join for that. When you go to wedon'tdie.com, you can click on the store page, see everything that's coming up. You can also go directly to the Sunday Gathering page. You can register for last week's Sunday Gathering, and you can watch replays for most of the past Sunday Gatherings. So if you need a source of inspiration and motivation and that afterlife connection, that's where it is, the Sunday Gathering page. We also want to thank those of you who have made our Sunday Gathering possible today by your donations. You don't have to donate, but there's been some kind folks that have paid for all the equipment and all the Zoom accounts and all those things. So you know who you are. Thank you so much. If you ever choose to donate, you can find that on the Sunday Gathering page at wedon'tdie.com. Also, I've got tons of podcast episodes you will be interested in. Speaking of podcast episodes and our theme of metamorphosis, the animals know what to do. They've got that sense of instinct. The hummingbirds were in my world here in Rhode Island for most of the summer, and they just departed. So how they know after they've just been born in the woods behind my house, how to make the several thousand-mile trip down to Central America on their own. They don't travel as a flock, and then they return to the place they were born next year. How do they know? Instinct. It's this divine intelligence. How does the caterpillar know to turn into a butterfly? It's that trust and vulnerability that Carly spoke about. I am busy recording another podcast episode featuring some of the words of Dr. Christopher Kerr. You may know of him. He's studied thousands of people and the deathbed visitations that happen just before we pass. Loved ones, even our pets, come to us. They appear young and they tell us we're going on a trip, and nobody dies alone. So there is this intelligence, just as our bodies know how to heal if we get a cut. The universe has this intelligence as well. So like I said at the beginning, our transformation will be from our human soul self to the spirit world. But someday we're going to wake up and be like, okay, body's gone, but we're still here, physical body anyways, and we retain our personality. We'll be greeted by our loved ones, and we'll get to see just what it's like on the other side. But until then, our life matters. So with our theme today and with my reading today, I did have a few blue days. I personally am getting older just like you are. I turn the big 60 next year, and it's thinking like fall, autumn is already here. What happened to summer? Life's going by fast. So that reading was designed for all of us that are just feeling that life's moving a little too fast. And I found some quick mind boosters. These are things we can do under 5 minutes to get into the present moment. We can play music, play a song, or turn on a station from your high school days, something that brings happy memories. Smiling, it is a trick of the body and mind that when you put a smile on your face, even if you force yourself to it after a minute or so, you're feeling better. Also, breathing, taking some slow, deep breaths just to get yourself into the present moment and calm the nervous system. You can have a moment of gratitude. You can think of 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for right now, but let yourself really sink into that feeling of gratitude. You can do a random act of kindness. Doesn't even have to be random. You can make somebody's day. You can smile to them. You can pay a compliment. You can do a small favor for someone, even if they haven't asked. It does a world of good for them, but it also does a world for you. Do a tiny task. Is there something you've been putting off, or is there some little tiny thing that you can do just to make yourself feel better? It might be cleaning up your room or making your bed or washing the dishes, but just, one task leads to another. Get outside in nature. That's always a good way. I'm going to go mow the grass after our Sunday gathering today just to connect with nature. There's also some deeper resets that we can do. Might take a little more than 5 minutes, maybe 15. You can go for a brisk walk. You can dance. All these things release those feel-good endorphins, and they're very healing. We can connect with another person. You can ideally connect with the voice that's really strong or in person. But if all you can do is send somebody a text message, let them know you're thinking of them, or a message on Messenger or something like that, reach out. You just never know. Left to our own devices, us human beings, we end up being alone a lot in our own thoughts. So sometimes to just have somebody break us out of that, it feels kind of nice. We can do some positive self-talk. You can take a walk down memory lane and think of all these things that you've accomplished and realize, hey, you're living with that person. That's you. You really are a miraculous human being. You might be going through a lot right now, but you've also handled a lot. So this too shall pass. You can plan joy. Think about something you're looking forward to. If you don't have anything, put something on the calendar, even if it's just going to the movies or whatever, getting together with a friend or going to dinner or something. The act of putting something on the calendar, having something to look forward to, can have you feeling better right now. Declutter your space, declutter your mind. Sometimes we have a to-do list a mile long. You can be real with yourself. Make a list. And if there's things that you never plan on getting to, cross them off. Just cross them right off. You know what's important to you and take action on those. And the last thing is we can sit in the silence of our own soul. Believe it or not, and Carly and Cachette will vouch to this, we call it sitting in the power. It's a form, it feels like meditation, but you're not going down a pathway and into the woods or anything like that. It's just the quietness of your own soul. It's like a spiritual recharge. It's like plugging in your iPad or your phone. You need it so it will work. Well, the same thing happens with us when we can quiet that mind and be in that present moment. Even if you fall asleep, that's okay. But have that intention just to be in that power of your soul. Great healing can occur. Also, connection to loved ones. You might get thoughts and feelings and memories that spring out of the blue. That's signs from our loved ones. Great ideas come from that space. And also, it really builds that spiritual power. So that's all I've got to say. Believe it or not, I could go on for another hour, but we'll go on next Sunday. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Carly for our closing prayer.
Thank you so much, Sandra. And I really appreciated your little mood boosters suggestions there at the end. It's so important to look after mental health, and just the littlest things can just stop it snowballing into a big thing. So, I hope lots of people take those things that you said on board. Thank you. And if you'd all like to join me now, you can go into that space where you feel that your connection to the divine, to the universe, to God, whatever term you feel comfortable with. I ask you to go to that space now, and we'll close today's gathering in prayer together. Thank you. To our divine and ever-present spirits, we thank you for bringing us here today, for allowing us to sit in the presence of our loved ones, in the presence of spirits, and to feel that love and to feel that upliftment, knowing that they walk by our sides each and every day. Know that that inspiration is there when we choose to look for it. That upliftment is there when we choose to make it happen. Spirit walks by us every day, hand in hand. And we can feel that presence every time we stop, and every time remember these moments. Loved ones are right there, right by our side. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you so much, Carly, and thank you, Cachette. It was really wonderful to have you joining us today. They're always on the Sunday gathering, just on the other side of it, as you guys are watching us. Also, what did I want to say? A thank you to you. We have read every one of your messages in the chat box. We can't take the time to answer them all, but please know we have read them. Thank you for caring for one another. We've got quite a community, a lot of things happening in that chat box. And we want to thank especially our friends in the spirit world, that we will keep our minds open, letting them know that we will pay attention. We know that they're still alive and well, and we'll do our very best to keep talking to them and for looking for signs. So as we close our Sunday gathering, we have got the song Stronger by Kelly Clarkson, and we know it. We've made it this far. We are strong human beings. We're going through that metamorphosis. It may not feel good. I know there's moments of joy, but please trust in the process. Trust that instinct that you are really growing into a magnificent soul. So I will play that for you now. That was amazing. Thank you all for being here. And Cachette and Carly, thanks again. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for all the nice messages in the chat box, too. We love you. We'll see you next week, if not sooner. Bye, everyone.